Hi there, welcome along to From Startup to Standout. This is the final episode of our awesome mini-series that we've created in association with Lloyds Bank. And I've really enjoyed bringing you these episodes, talking about entrepreneurship, about the challenges of business, about how hard it is to actually go it alone. And the stats back up the fact that the journey is a challenge. You know, 60% of businesses fail within the first 3 years, 20% fail in the first year, just 42.5% make it past 5 years. And that's really what this series is about, finding out about the challenges, but also inspiring people to give it a go. And I'm feeling rather inspired today because I'm home. This is Norwich. This is actually the Norwich lanes. Like, I grew up running around these streets, and we're about to meet the owners of a gorgeous French restaurant called L'Hexagone. And you know what? The stats around restaurants are even more alarming. 60% of restaurant businesses fail in the first year. So what can Gemma and Thomas, who've set up L'Hexagone, share with you about their journey? It's time to find out. And I'm also really pleased to say that Lloyds Bank have supported Thomas and Gemma on their journey, providing holistic business support as well as guidance on starting, growing and managing a business. So I think it's time to find out what their story is. Come on in. Hi.
Hi Jake, welcome to L'Hexagone.
So nice to meet you, Gemma. Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you.
I've just been talking outside about the challenges of running a business, right? Which we will get on to, but before that, let's talk about the fun stuff. So this is run by you and Thomas.
Yes.
Business partners and partners?
Yep, husband and wife and business partners. Yeah, so yeah, the whole hog.
Where did you meet them?
We met in France, in Carcassonne, for my 30th birthday weekend. And
Happy birthday! That's a good birthday weekend.
Yeah, and a nice present. So yeah, I came away with a Frenchman. So yeah, and we were long distance for 3 years, and then Thomas moved here, and he always knew he wanted to open his own restaurant, and I just kind of came along for the ride and helped as best I could.
Oh, I think you're being very modest there. I mean, the biggest thing you convinced him was to come to Norwich, where I'm from, where you're from.
Yeah.
What did you say to convince him that this was the place for L'Hexagone?
He just loved it. He loves the vibe. Yeah, it's just a nice city. It's big, not too big, near the beach, so the weather could be a bit hotter for him.
Yeah, I bet. Look, so obviously he's a Frenchman.
Yes.
So your food is French?
All French, yeah.
How do you kind of describe to people what L'Hexagone is if they don't know?
The very first thing we say is we're a simple, small bistro, so it just kind of like sets people's expectations because we're not fancy, it's just home-cooked food. Thomas doesn't measure anything, he doesn't write down his recipes, it just all comes from his heart and his head, and it's a lot of family recipes. So we like to kind of set the tone, just come as you are. It's like our home, we want you to be relaxed. Everything's in French, so even the menus. So it's really funny if people come to the window and they see the French and like, oh no, that's not for them, and off they go. Yeah. Other people who like to have a bit of fun come in and try and speak French, which we love. And I can always, I interpret the menu for them. But it's just about having fun, and everything's French. So our music, our wine, Thomas, and he's kind of on show, and you can see him cooking.
Très bien. Parlez-vous français?
Un peu.
Me too. Very little. That was literally it for my French. Look, there's some nice things. I see you've got a good food guide plaque in the window.
Yes.
On the wall over there is the famous Jay Rayner, the food critic, who gave you an amazing write-up. So before we meet Thomas and talk about some of the tough things, I'd love to know how it feels when those like seals of approval come your way as a business.
It's mad. It's crazy. I think because everything moves so quickly, you just take like a little second to be like, oh my goodness, pinch yourself. But then you have to keep going. You have to clean the restaurant, get everything ready for the next service. But Sundays on our day off, we do kind of sit in our garden and a bit like, gosh, that did really happen, didn't it? Or like look at the plaque or have a peek at the review and think, wow, yeah, that did happen. So but I think you always stay humble. Like you can't, this is who we are. And it's so nice to get those acknowledgements, and we frame it.
Quite right. You should frame. Listen, where am I winning is an important question you should ask yourself often, and those are areas where you're winning. So now that we've met the main act, should we meet your assistant? Should we go meet the chef?
Yes, let's go for it. Yeah.
Thomas.
Hiya.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Sorry to disturb your preparation for lunch today.
That's all right. You're gonna get involved too, I think.
Of course, I'm happy
Are
to
you
do
happy
anything.
to try?
Yeah, what would you like me to do?
Maybe help me to cut some shallots. Yeah, would you?
Sure.
Mind your finger.
Listen, Thomas, tell me, something I'm really interested in is how this works as a couple, like in a relationship, but also in a business relationship. How do you deal with that?
To be fair, we did really nice. I thought like first time like that may be quite hard to work, you know, like work with your wife, like spend all the time together. Must have been like really hard, but I think that give us strength, you know, like we really strong. Because it's just we trust each other. I know she's gonna be on time. She know I'm gonna be on time, and I think it's why we like a strong business because it's just the two of us.
Hold on. So people often think owning your own business is glamorous. Like, is it honestly the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got KP who came at the weekend to
So
give us a
kitchen
hand.
porter,
Yeah,
just
kitchen
to
porter.
wash up.
Just to wash up a bit.
So who cleans and tidies after a service?
Me, yeah.
Yeah,
And who gets in and makes sure all of the food's been delivered and
that's me.
you do all of that?
Yeah.
And what about bookings and stuff? You deal with all of that?
Yeah, Gemma manage everything. I'm not social media.
We have the
or anything.
phone, and you're quite often flipping a steak with a phone.
So there's quite an old school setup here
Yeah.
as well.
It is really old
But
school.
we're quite proud of that. I think it's traditional, and it's nice to have the control. And we're 50-50, and we both care so much. So I do think that shows. It shows in the food. It shows in, you know, the email responses. I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that's us. Yeah, there is no fake things or other person we're gonna, you know, answer the phone like. So it's it is us.
And we've got an open kitchen, so you can literally see Thomas prepping, cooking as you walk in, and I think that like there's no hiding. Everything's on show, so it's just like an open place.
Yeah.
And what about my culinary
Perfect.
work? I've sliced up some shallots pretty.
That's super job.
Whilst watching you as well.
You got the job.
Thanks very much. It always sounds really romantic. I mean, I was actually saying that you two could be a movie. You know, Gemma goes on holiday, she meets a gorgeous Frenchman in Carcassonne, brings him home, and they set up their own little bistro in a cute little lane in a beautiful city. But that is fairy tale, right? Let's talk about the reality of actually doing this. Like, when you decided, right, we're gonna go for it, how nervous were you both?
Yeah,
it was,
really nervous. I think the thing I was thinking, don't be too old. So because I remember I've been working with people who say they dream of opening their own business, and they were not this year, or maybe later, and they end up being 60 and be like, oh no, it's too late. I won't do anything. So I think we're like both. Come on, we need to push each other and get the confidence to, come on, crack on, you know. We need to start finding premises, finding like all the things we need to be able to open a restaurant. And start saving up and be like, let's go, you know. Like.
When those first phone calls came through for bookings, we were so nervous, and we actually cut it at half the bookings. We were like, no, we're not doing any more, and we were just like this, like really tense the whole service. And
well, in case you couldn't handle like a full restaurant.
Gosh, even if I went to like through French school, you know, and everything, it's just really stressful. I think any opening of a restaurant, new kitchen, new thing is just super stressful. I remember not drinking or eating for 2 days and
just had that stomach churning feeling, didn't we? Yeah, just really
but it's
tense.
worth it. Yeah. That's I will say it's worth it. You know, it's worth all the pain, all the sweat, all the blood. It's just work hard. That will pay one day for sure.
We have like amazing support with our family, who.
Glad we've got them.
I mean, even from the start, they were painting here. It's been like a real family effort, and it's nice that they kind of always believed in us, even like when we didn't ourselves so much at the start. But
did you not believe in yourselves at times?
It's hard. It's hard. You know, like you need to be confident enough, but at the same time, you wait for people judging what you do, and are they gonna love the concept? Because everything, as you can see, everything is in French. French music, French wine. The menu's in French. That can put some people off, you know.
At the start, it comes from a good place, but lots of people say, oh, you should do this, or you should do that, how about this? And you know it's coming from a good place, but you kind of have to say thank you, but no, this is what we are.
Yeah. We won't do Spanish wine, we won't do like other things.
But even I think growing, like you could get carried away here and go, let's open 100 L'Hexagone restaurants across the UK, but are you quite firm that this is the size, this is how it stays, so it's a real lifestyle business?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
This worked for us. I think like 30 covers, it's just perfect because I'm on my own in the kitchen. There is no other people to help me prep or cook. Gemma's on her own, so same. She needs to run the food downstairs, upstairs. The things having an open kitchen make me like, I can, like when customers came in, if Gemma's upstairs taking an order, that work. If we were like bigger, if I was in the kitchen, far away at the back, we'll need to have staff, and it's just, we love how it works. We love how we've got the control on everything, and go bigger. I don't think it's the solution. I
love the simplicity, because
Yeah.
it means that you're not running your business with an ego. You're running it with a heart,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we're really low case, we take like all of these nice greeting things, but I'm just like, I just always remember to be like, well, okay, you're just a chef, you're just cooking, so just like, keep everything cool.
I think a big compliment is John T, who runs the Norwich lanes. He often walks past and he's like, do you know what, I actually don't remember what this building was before L'Hexagone, so it feels like we've really made our mark, and it was meant to be in a way. So that.
I love that. Well, look, it's lovely to stand around and chat. I'm very glad I was able to chop some shallots. Let's all be honest with each other. We know that I'm not getting a job in this restaurant anytime soon. But one thing I am really good at is eating food. So I thought that we could maybe sit down, eat some of your amazing food, but then I would really like to talk to you actually about the challenges, about the hard times, about the low moments, the self-doubts, because you've run this restaurant through a coronavirus pandemic, right, which is quite remarkable. So why don't we chill, Gemma, get some coffee, and we'll let Thomas do what Thomas does best.
Cooking.
Thomas, well done for all your hard work.
Thanks a lot.
Look at
This is for you. A bit of aioli for you to try.
Lovely. We've got eggs, we've got pate, steak, fruits. I hope people are watching this on YouTube, not just listening to this on the podcast, by the way, because they need to see how gorgeous this food looks.
Bon appetit.
Thank you. We've discussed so many of the great moments, like the romance of working together, running your own business, the amazing reviews you've had. But look, we can't not have an honest conversation, right, about business. So if I was to ask each of you, what is the lowest point of the last few years? I wonder whether you'd give me the same answer or different answers.
I'll go first, shall I?
Yeah.
Definitely for me, the lowest part was we just got going in January 2020. So we got the keys in November of 2019, and it was like full steam ahead. We were here, we were both working other jobs while we were doing this place up. So here at all hours, trying to get ready, like the big push. And then we had 2.5 months, if that, and then lockdown came along. So there was so much uncertainty for everyone, but we literally thought that was it. Well, we had a good 2.5 months and had no idea if we'd ever open again. So we'd just got in the swing of things. We had Valentine's Day, didn't we? That kind of really set us on our way. And then we were clearing out the fridges, turning everything off, taking home half-open bottles of wine, drowning our sorrows. But that was just a nightmare. I really couldn't believe it. I thought, well, that's just our luck, We just got going, and then that came along. And I know everyone was in the same boat, and no one knew what was happening, but that hit really hard. We were really low at that point.
Yeah, but I think same for me. Yeah, that was coronavirus was like the big hit, because you just finalize, you open, you start feeling your dream, you just start feeling it, and boom, you need to shut, and it's lots of questions. Are we gonna survive? Are we gonna be able to pay our bill? Are the customer gonna return? Nobody knows what that was going to be. So yeah, that was really, really stressful.
And we had to decide, because all the other restaurants, they kind of jumped into, let's go for takeaway, but we were so new that a lot of people hadn't even eaten here. So the last thing we wanted to do was for that to be your first experience, just a box.
Yeah, it's just.
So that was a really difficult. Well, do we do that or do we not? Do we just sit tight? So it was just lots of grey area that you just felt you had no control when you just worked so hard to get open.
But being a family, I think that's what helped us. We didn't have any staff to pay or anyone to care of, just ourselves. So yeah, that was like, okay, put ourselves away from the business, make sure the business survive, even if it's a bit, lots on your shoulder, and just try to go through all of that. And and we did.
I'm glad you survived because the steak's amazing.
Glad you enjoyed.
And the shallots that I cooked on top of yours.
Yes,
I chopped those shallots. Can we just have a moment for that? The reason why I really wanted to do this series, right, was because I think that often people won't go into business because of the fear of the unknown. So the more that we can talk about the things you've learned, I think the better for them. So for someone watching this series thinking, maybe I do take a chance, maybe I do go for it, I'd love to know the things that you've learned along the way that you think would be really valuable for other people to know.
Yeah, I think, I will say, like, go 100%, like, try, like, make sure you have a bit of a setup, where you go, don't go too crazy, just have a plan, stick to the plan, and just go for it. I think it's the best advice, like, we had a KP who wanted to open his business, and we're like, go, just go for it, live your dream, just try. If it works, good. If it doesn't work, that's you have tried, It's like
I think have a clear vision though, and try your best. It's really hard to stick to that when you do put yourself out there and people try and chip in, with their advice, which is really nice and kind. But if you stick to what you vision, but then at the same time, maybe if it doesn't, we were lucky that our vision did work and people did recognise what we're trying to do. But I guess you do have to adapt if it. But to be fair, at the start we were open for breakfast. And that just didn't work. We were eating all the pastries every day. It was just like, no, we can't do this. So
there's a plus there.
We got rid of that, didn't we? And when we got busier, Thomas just couldn't prep for breakfast, lunch in the same time. So we did adapt in that way.
Yeah,
so
we had
I
to
guess
change
just
a couple of things.
Like you learn every second of the day, and you just don't ever, you won't ever know everything. Like each day is so different. It's unbelievably different to the next, isn't it?
But I think, go for it.
What about not allowing business to overtake a relationship? Because I know that loads of people dream of exactly this, going into business with their partner or their husband or wife.
I guess having children, you just put that hat on the second you get home and it's all about them. But I'm doing the emails kind of in between clubs and, he's doing that for a bit, so I'll do these emails. So I think we're good at boxing things. So we're stupid. Thomas gets here at 8 o'clock. I see Leo off to school and I get here about 8:30. And we say, morning. And it's like, you're just starting your working day, even though I've seen you like an hour ago.
Yeah. But we do well. That's why I think, for people who work and spend, sometimes like 16 hours a day working together, I think we do really well.
But you're so focused on your end of it, aren't you? Like, you're the food. I don't interfere with that whatsoever. So that's completely Thomas. So I guess it's like two different sides of the business, and you don't do any emails, thankfully, because they would be interesting. But we're just very separate almost, but under the same roof.
It sounds like you've kind of worked it out, but without stumbling in, you've kind of had a clear plan, or you've thought about all of the possible things that might go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Are you planners? You plan a lot?
You're not.
Yeah.
Thomas's your favourite saying is "we will see."
Yeah,
and I
really
guess
French.
I've learnt that you do need that. Like I'm a Virgo. I like to plan, and like being with Thomas for 10 years, and we will see. It's so French. So we've taken the best bits of each other, I think.
I think definitely. It's just like the right balance. I've got a bit of temper. Gemma is really, really calm. So sometimes she calms me, and sometimes. But the reverse, I'm just like, for that, just chill out. We'll see how it goes, we're not good at planning in advance, but we do work well together, that's for sure.
You see, from my own personal experience, I think the mindset of "we will see" is really valuable when it comes to setting up a business, because when I've set up businesses in the past, I've always thought I know the answers, right? But I never have the answers to everything. So the only approach is "we will see." Like you just kind of have to do it. And I wonder whether you agree with me on this point that nothing gives you the thrill of owning your own business. As hard as it is, that feeling of ownership is special.
Definitely, yeah.
It is.
Without a doubt.
I won't change anything. If that stop working, I will try to do something else. I think I will not be able to go back. I think
definitely.
that's just you need it. It's the adrenaline, you know, the challenge is.
Yeah. I think it's so nice to have a bit of power in this industry, especially because, you know, if somebody comes and they're not very nice, we don't have them again, and that's our right, really, isn't it? So we protect our space as much as we can. We invite you in, and, you know, this is who we are. If it's not for you, don't come back, you know, go somewhere else, kind of thing. So it's nice to be able to be like that nicely, but stand your ground a bit with it, and call the shots, and make sure we know we work flat out, but then we can take our kids on a summer holiday, and we do close for that. So we've got like goals to aim towards.
So I had this idea that really this series was about supporting businesses from a business perspective. And it is, but it's also supporting businesses on a business perspective so they can then live their dreams, right?
Yeah.
So what have you learned about supporting other businesses supporting you, and the power of like doing this together, not on your own?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's so important, and Norwich is amazing for that.
yeah,
With
the lanes, Norwich lanes are the most beautiful things. Yeah,
In what way?
Just
everybody's
exactly what you
support.
said. Like, so we've had customers who've been in the ceramic shop opposite, and they've said, "Oh, Gwen's recommended we come for lunch. We thought we'd pop in." The guys at Strangers, the coffee shop, are sending people our way, and it just like vice versa. You know, we don't do vegan food, but there's Moorish that are solely vegan, so we just completely support each other. And even other restaurants. So on our opening day, something didn't work in the kitchen, so Thomas was like, "I can't do this."
Can't prep, yeah.
And Richard lent us his kitchen at Benedict's for an hour. So it's just
It's just like lots of support. Other chef, there is no animosity. I think like people are just like proud of what you do and just try to come on. And if you need any help, do you need new supplier? If you need anyone to supply wine, veg, whatever, they're just ready to give you, them number. They're not like, none of my business. I think the Lanes is really nice for that.
Yeah.
It's just like a small community of people who take care for each other. Like if the shop in front, if she go for like a 5-minute break and she say, "Look at the shop," yeah, of course, yeah, no problem. We'll have a look, for her.
Yeah, it's definitely a community. You don't feel like you're on your own, and that's nice. So if we're quiet one day, we stick our head out and, "Oh, Strangers are quiet, these guys are quiet. Oh, it must just be a quiet day." It's not like, "Oh gosh," like the panic. You're just kind of all in it together, I think.
That was really enjoyable, and not just because the food was magnifique and I love my food, but I just think that Gemma and Thomas are really honest about what it's actually like running and owning your own business. And I think when we think about going on an entrepreneurial journey, and I know this because I've been there myself, we think of all of the romantic, exciting, positive stuff. But the truth is there's some really hard moments, and that's why it's absolutely clear to me from this series that support is what businesses need if they're going to not just thrive, but simply survive. And I think the message from Lloyds Bank, and also from me, is that good things are happening right now in British business. And if you're inspired to give it a go, then Lloyds Bank have the ability and the expertise to support you in any business venture. Look, I really hope that you've enjoyed watching From Startup to Standout. I've certainly enjoyed bringing you this series. And for more information, just check out the Lloyds Bank business website. See you soon.